Hey, what's up, brothers? I hope everybody's doing well out there. I wanted to pop in here tonight and give you guys a little bit of dating advice. I know a lot of you guys signed up strictly for the dating advice, so I'm going to try to deliver these as much as I can. In tonight's video, I want to talk about why it's important to go through struggles in your dating life, struggles with women. I know a lot of you guys watch a lot of manosphere content, a lot of dating coaches and red pill coaches and all that. And you're absorbing all this knowledge, absorbing all of these different red pills and all this stuff. But a lot of it is kind of like high school math class, right? Algebra, geometry, algebra 2, pre-cal, cal, whatever. If you've ever been in one of those classes, once a week, somebody in the classroom is going to raise their hand and say, "Hey, teacher, why do we have to learn this stuff? We're never going to use this in real life." That's kind of like what most red pill knowledge and most manosphere and dating coach knowledge is like too. You're cramming your brain full of all this knowledge, but most of it is totally useless because you're never going to use it in real life. Because you're a unique individual with unique goals on a unique path, and you're going to have to go through your bumps and bruises and go through your struggles to figure out what works for you and what doesn't, for the most part. So that's why it's important to do that. So I'll give you an example of a struggle that I went through when I was just a little youngster, when I was 19 years old. At the age of 19, I would describe myself as a weightlifter, a beer drinker, and a weed smoker. I don't know if I had really much accomplishments other than that, but that's basically what I was, enjoying life like a sad sack of shit that I was. Anyways, I met a girl, and she was just like me, into the same stuff I was into. We met at a party. I ended up taking her home. And we would go out a few times a week. And we would usually either stay at my place or her place. And this went on for a couple of months. And by then, I was pretty much, I'll be honest with you, I was head over heels in love with her. I couldn't stop thinking about her. I just loved the girl. I thought she was hot. I thought she was fun. Everything was cool. And something I didn't know about her was she had a boyfriend that was in jail, and he went to jail about a week before I met her. She never mentioned him. Anyways, he ended up getting out of jail a couple months down the road, and she was still going out with me a few nights a week, but she was going out with him a few nights a week too. And eventually I found out and he found out. He and I got into a big fight. I think we pretty much both ended up dumping the girl. And, that was that. But I know myself, personally, I was devastated and I was heartbroken. I know it sounds weak, but I was 19. I was just a kid. You've been there. I was heartbroken. How could this girl do this to me? What we had was so special. But then I had some time to think about it and look back at it, and I realized the only reason I was heartbroken was because I allowed an ain't shit bitch, an ain't shit slut, to have emotional power over me. I allowed myself to become emotionally invested in a woman that I should have never been emotionally invested in to begin with. She was strictly for fun, but I didn't know that. And also, looking back, I was fucking his girl. That was that. That was his. He was with her before I was. I'm sure she was calling him when he was in jail, whatever. I was the one that was intruding on their relationship, looking back, if anything. So that was a heartbreak that didn't really cause any major tragedy in my life, but it was definitely a struggle. It was something that hurt me a lot. Something that was a learning experience for me. And what that trained me to do was vet women. You know, it was just second nature after that. When I would get with a chick, I was constantly looking for things like, can I trust this girl? You know, I got to figure out, is there anything going on with this chick that, you know, is off? And I was just kind of vetting women a little bit more thoroughly at that point. And my vetting process is very easy. I'll share it with you guys. And again, you don't have to use this. You're better off coming up with your own plan, but you're more than welcome to use it if you want to. Number one, and this may sound silly, may sound like something that should be very obvious, but you don't hear it talked about very much in the manosphere. I use eye contact to vet a woman, first of all. When you look a woman in the eyes, you can see exactly how she feels about you. You can see what her intentions are. When you look a woman in the eyes, they don't lie. You can tell if she loves you. You can tell if she's intimidated by you. You can tell if she's angry with you. You can tell if she's repulsed by you. You can tell if she's a narcissist that just wants to sink her claws into you and drain you for whatever it is she wants out of you. You can see that just by looking a woman in the eyes. If you have a well-trained eye, it's very easy to see. And yes, that narcissist thing is very real. You can see that narcissist look in a woman's eye. I remember this one time, this is just a narcissist story that, man, I can't get this girl out of my head sometimes. Anyways, she used to go to my gym, and she just had that look in her eye, that crazy narcissist look in her eye. And for a while, she was staring at me constantly. And I was like, I could tell, like I know that narcissist look. This isn't genuine desire or anything like that. This isn't choosing signals. This is a narcissist that sees something in me. She wants something out of me. And she would stare at me constantly. I'd be like working out, and she would have like a pair of long pants on with like underneath she'd have like bicycle shorts on, you know, the real tight shorts where you could pretty much see see the imprints and the crevices. Man, she would get like right in front of me and bend over and pull off her leggings. So, you know, and she would just have these tight little biker shorts. She would do it right in front of me on purpose. So I would see her bending over and shit, and then she would keep looking at me. Wasn't choosing signals though. Anyways, she ends up getting with this dude, and she fucking did something, like accused him of doing something he didn't do. Like some sort of like assault or something, but like people were there and it was a total lie. But I mean, she was just crazy, like trying to do crazy shit to people. So I'm glad I stayed away from her. Anyways, that's just a story about that narcissist look. You got to watch out for that one because that is very real. But if a woman isn't giving me a look of genuine desire or love, you know, if I don't see that in her eyes, I'm not going to allow myself to get emotionally invested in her. And if she's not giving me a look like she's attracted to me, like that lustful look, like she really wants some, I'm not going to hook up with her. You know, we got to have one of those two. Otherwise, charge her to the game, bro. Because there's no point in moving forward. No point in proceeding. You know, if that's not there, I don't want it. So that's that. And I guess the next part of my vetting process is just simply establishing some sort of boundaries, you know. I know most guys are afraid to establish boundaries. You know, they just go with the flow. They let the woman establish boundaries, but they never will. You know, what you don't understand, or what maybe you understand, but what a lot of guys don't understand is if you had a teenage kid, you would establish boundaries for them, right? You would want to know everywhere they went, what they were doing, who they were with. And the reason why is because they're a teenage kid, they can't really take care of themselves. So you have to watch over them and make sure they're not screwing things up. They can screw their own life up. They can lose their own life. They can screw your life up. All of this stuff. So you got to watch what they're doing. You got to establish boundaries. And, you know, if it's your kid, you make them stay within those boundaries or punishment will happen. With a woman, they're kind of like that. You know, you still got to establish the boundaries, to keep everything safe so they can't screw their life up or your life up or whatever. But you can't really force them to stay within those boundaries. All you can do if they're not willing to stay in those boundaries, bye-bye. Charge her to the game. Eat the loss. Even if you love her. No matter how much you love her, you got to eat the loss if she's not willing to stay in those boundaries. So that's number 2. And then number 3 is actually not even a vetting process. This is something that I had to learn myself. Women communicate way different than men do. Okay, so men communicate with logic. Like when I'm talking to you guys right now, we're having a logical conversation. I'm saying words, you're understanding what I'm saying, you're following me. We're just like this logical man-to-man conversation. Women communicate emotionally. So you have to have a certain level of patience if she's if you vetted her. She does love you. She's willing to follow your boundaries, stay within your boundaries. You got to have some patience, because a woman is going to be happy one minute, sad the next, depressed, angry. Like it's just going to bounce around all the time because they're emotional. They communicate emotionally. Like you can be talking to a woman and you can be talking romantic to her and she's all like, she's all in her feelings. You could tell her a sad story and she's crying. You can talk politics. Now she's really angry. You could tell her jokes and she's laughing. All in the same 30-minute time span because they're very emotional. They communicate emotionally where we communicate logically. So women are going to have these weird ups and downs all the time. So I just make sure that I have a little bit of patience, because I'm not going to change. Logic doesn't change. Logic is solid. It's set in foundation. We just are as men. Women, they're up and down and all around, all over the place. A lot of guys, they act like they have a hard time understanding women. They say they don't understand women. When you understand that women are emotional beings and they communicate emotionally, then you can trust women to be women. That's all you need to understand about women. Then, you got to have a little bit of patience though, because again, it's up and down and all over the place. So if you're not willing to put up with that, so if you're not extremely invested in a woman, it's probably not worth it because she's gonna be a little crazy. They always are. But anyways, I guess there's not really much more to be said about that there topic. I kind of went off in a tangent there at the end. But, we can do whatever we want when we're sitting here shooting the shit. That's just the way it is, because I know a lot of you guys absorb a lot of this knowledge. And here's how I would put it. You're always learning, but never knowing. This was a big reason why I left the YouTube fitness community. Back when I was doing the fitness videos, I saw the writing on the wall. I was like, this community's dying. It went from 2012 to 2016 where it was just blowing up and the fitness community that was where it was at on YouTube. And then it went downhill because there was no information. It was all just, people were starting to catch on. If you want to get fit, all you got to do is diet and train. Watching these videos and absorbing all this knowledge isn't going to really do much for you. Go to the gym, work out, and eat right. It was as simple as that, And, that's when the content creators started to shift into the prank videos and the joking videos, and there was no more information to be had. That's kind of where the manosphere is at now, too, isn't it? Remember 2017? All that information, it was people were just cramming their brains full of all that information. But it seems like the information side is becoming less popular because people are starting to realize, well, this information is kind of useless. So now the manosphere is turning into a big reaction thing. You see prank videos, you see guys reacting to crazy things on TikTok, or like reacting to a husband catch his wife cheating. It's just these stupid reaction videos because, people are starting to see the information side is going downhill. Now we're looking for a little red meat before the manosphere eventually just disappears. And that's where we're at in the manosphere, but kind of sucks, but it's cool. We'll find some other things to talk about. We got some crazy stuff going on in the world, man. We got World War III. We got New World Order. Anybody that's been paying attention, man, when you're in the know, when you know, you know. I mean, all the shit that's going on, I could show you documentaries and books that said all this stuff was going to happen. So we knew the war was about to kick off. You knew it was coming after you knew it was coming next. And we know what's coming after that. Anybody that's paying attention, they write this shit down. They got a plan and an agenda. But we won't get into that tonight. As a matter of fact, nah. We'll get into it one of these nights, though. I'll tell you what, lfashow.com, we'll do some videos about that stuff on there. Maybe on Rumble. I think Rumble will allow it. Yeah, we'll go on Rumble and we'll do some of that shit because those are interesting topics and I believe they do need to be talked about. We need to have these conversations. Because I know a lot of you guys want more knowledge than simply talking about girls and talking about surface level shit. And I think that'd be important that we have those. With that being said, guys, you're going to have to find something else to watch because this video is over. Hopefully this video was somewhat informative or at least enjoyable. And that's about it for tonight, guys. Until next time, see ya.